And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. Our show today comes to you from the traditional and unceded territory of the Tsuut'ina people. Owls live everywhere in the world except Antarctica. Their habitat includes deserts, prairies, and even the Arctic tundra. They nest in trees, holes in the ground, in barns, and in caves. On today's Open Connection, we open our archives to bring you this story from 2000.
It may seem a bit odd that an owl conservatory, especially one that takes in owls from around the world, would be located in Driftwood, a part of the Bulkley Valley, but that is the case. As it turns out, the valley is a great place for owls to live and very good for breeding rare species.
We have quite a few owl species around here, and it is a very, very good spot for watching owls. It is one of the best spots in North America.
Prahe estimates there to be at least a dozen owl species in the valley. He says the area's differing landscapes, from flat land to mountains to heavy forests, provide the proper habitat for each particular owl's needs, but don't think you can just pick up and go for an owl watching excursion into the woods. Prahe says you're much more likely to hear an owl than see one.
Because owls, as you know, are nocturnal birds, and seeing them is not so easy. Even if they are close by, you won't see them because they're very, very much camouflage. And
the mystery that humans don't know a lot about owls is in part what attracted Prahe to the nocturnal birds of prey. Since they're most active at night, it's been difficult for people to study them, but that hasn't stopped Prahe from researching and writing about owls.
So we like to know what's going on, and it becomes more and more. It's not only that we like to know what is all about owls. We have to know it because it is important for their survival.
And that's where Prahe comes in. He opened the Driftwood Research and Breeding Center for owls a little north of Smithers about 12 years ago, trying to preserve as many owl species as possible.
And why they are here? Because I love them. I love them to be here. I love to study them, and mainly for reasons of conservation. That's why I keep them.
Prahe has nearly 200 owls and about 30 aviaries on his property. One of the most important projects he's working on now is preserving owls from, of all places, the Dominican Republic.
We have this example right now with the Dominican Republic. They asked us how to keep their owls, how to do it right.
Prahe's actually gotten an agreement with the government of the Dominican Republic to build up the breeding population of an owl that's nearly extinct.
They have so far 7 birds, and we did DNA testing in England. It turned out that there's 1 male and 6 females, so this is a very bad situation.
In this case, the work is so unbelievably detailed and uncertain, the two countries have to hope to get male owls from Europe to preserve the species.
This is an interesting way that birds under human care help in a different country, helps the country where the birds come from to establish a breeding population, because they don't have them in the wild anymore.
By now you may be wondering how or why somebody in the Northwest could be involved with saving birds in such a faraway country.
I was so crazy to contact them and ask them if I could be of any help. And it was all my fault. That they're quite excited about this program, because nobody helps them to care about their owls, and it is of course not a rich country, not like the United States or the European country or Canada.
But doesn't Canada have endangered owls that Prahe should be concerned about? Yes, of course, but he says birds here, like the spotted owl and the burrowing owl, are threatened, but it's a much different scenario there.
So if it is threatened in Canada, it doesn't mean it is threatened as a species. It is threatened in Canada, and that makes a difference. The owls we deal with in the Dominican Republic are endemic to Hispaniola, to a small island, and they are threatened. And when they are gone, then the species is gone.
In an attempt to help save more owls, Krahe is planning to complete a much larger aviary this summer to accommodate the owls he has now and to help preserve the future of untold species from around the world, right here in the Northwest.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thank you for staying with us. In 1923, the BC Drama Festival Association's goals were to establish as many theatre groups as possible in the province and hold festivals. The first, which was in April of 1932 at the Crystal Gardens in Victoria. Let us return to our archives with the Harbour Theatre.
The camera's rolling. All right, so everyone knows what time they're supposed to be at your shows in an hour and a half. Do you guys want to do a quick run through here and make sure we all know our positions? Lyle, you know to get into your costume 5 minutes before you're on stage. Yeah. With
Local theater is a staple in a majority of communities across the country, but in northern BC it seems to carry a much higher profile. Using Harbour Theatre's latest production of John Patrick's A Bad Year for Tomatoes as an example, we thought we'd ask the question of what draws people to get involved.
You get to do something that not many people ever feel they can ever do. And when you go on stage, there's a certain empowerment to you. You have a connection with the audience. It's a lot of fun, and pretty much everybody knows you, so you're a bit of a minor celebrity, and the parties are good, and the women are beautiful.
I don't know. I was always just curious about it. I always wanted to come on stage. I watched people doing it and thought, geez, that'd be fun. But yeah, this is the first time.
What have you thought of it?
It's fantastic. So fun. It's everything. It's scary, it's exciting, it's butterflies, it's good friends, fabulous people. Everybody's very supportive. It's fun.
Since I'm out of high school now, I needed something to do and I really missed the theater and everything. And I was offered to be a stage manager for this, so I thought I'd do it again, and it's a lot of fun. And I like to try something different because I acted for about 4 years and I like to be backstage as well.
And for me, I met actually somebody who's my best friend in town now. When I was working at a coffee shop in town, they said, hey, we're doing some theater. Would you like to come out? And I did, and I just ended up meeting all these people that I really liked. And above and beyond that, I had so much fun, not just being on stage, but putting a project together with people that everyone enjoys. Like you have your actors and your backstage crew and your producers and your directors and all that, and everyone working together to this common goal was just fun. It's just a real charge. It's something to do after work. Work tends to get kind of monotonous and stuff, and theater is a lot of excitement and a great way to spend your spare time.
Although making a spectacle of yourself in front of an audience is daunting to most, at least 2 members of this cast were first-timers and found the experience rewarding.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like public speaking. I mean, the greatest fear is public speaking, and the kind of greatest fear in theater is the whole public exposure. And that's really where you get a lot of excitement, and once you do it, it's really gratifying. I mean, it's a real high to get into a character and to get laughs and just to entertain people. It's fun.
It's good for confidence, but mostly I think I've taken away a group of friends that'll be around for a long time. And I'm not going to stop now. It's very fun, and I want to continue to do it. So,
some of the veterans in the company say the time they've spent doing community theater has helped them to grow.
It's interesting because the learning curve is quite high. It's quite sharp. I think you learn an awful lot in a very short period of time. You can go to a school and you might learn the same, but it takes you 4 years. I've learned quite a bit. I've been fortunate. I've been involved in it my entire life. So lately, I'm not sure, but I have learned.
Yeah. I've learned what it takes to put on a show, and that's probably the most important thing. When I first got involved in Harbour Theatre, somebody asked me to audition for a piece, and I auditioned for it, and I had no idea what was involved in building a set. I had no idea what was involved in marketing a show. I had no idea what was involved in music and lighting and stuff like that. And here in Prince Rupert, we have a beautiful facility in the Performing Arts Centre, and I've been in here a lot, and I've learned from the other people in the club that have a lot of experience in it, how a show is put together, and that's probably the most important thing that I've learned. It's almost administrative in that you're looking after so many different components of a project, and learning how to organize those components that they run smoothly, that you can take that and put it into your job or into your personal life or whatever. It transcends a lot of borders.
You know what I told you earlier.
Of course, actors don't make up the whole production. Without people behind the scenes doing things like props, costumes, sound, and lighting, the show just wouldn't go on. For those interested in taking the step into the technical realm, help is available at places like Prince Rupert's Performing Arts Center.
The best thing to do is to come down and see what you're actually working with and get the hands-on experience. And for me to say to you, using technical terms, et cetera, it's not going to mean a whole lot to you if you don't know. But if you come down and actually see what the lighting console looks like, what the board can do, and I'll bring up a slider and you can actually see on stage what the light does, then there's something physical, there's something tangible that you can work with, and that's people grasp onto that so much better.
You were somebody.
Community theater will be showcased in Prince Rupert in May as it hosts the Skeena Zone Theater Festival. Plays from all over the Northwest, stretching from Vanderhoof to the Queen Charlottes, are expected to attend.
How are your shorts?
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome back to Open Connection. The standard answer to what's the difference between a violin and a fiddle is, when you're buying one, it's a fiddle. When you're selling one, it's a violin. Let us return the archives to a Smithers Fiddle Music Workshop.
Victoria's Daniel Lapp was just one of 9 accomplished instructors willing to impart their knowledge to people who love fiddle music. He and the others came to Camp Caledonia in Smithers for 5 days of workshops, jam sessions, and concerts, attended by 76 people of all fiddling skill levels.
Many fiddle tunes are similar with embellishments, so very new beginners can learn the basic tune, and the more experienced players play the embellishments, and everyone gets to participate at their own level. And it's really a magical experience. It's bigger than the music. It just kind of embraces your heart, and it's a wonderful experience to be around fiddlers.
Why did you want to try the fiddle?
Well, I happen to have an old fiddle in the family. My grandfather left it to me, and somebody said I should learn to play it, so here I am.
Are you learning a lot?
More than I thought I would.
Really? What are you going to do with this new knowledge?
I haven't a clue. Have fun with it, I guess.
The idea to hold a fiddle camp in Smithers came about last year when it was discovered that at least 20 people from the Bulkley Valley attended a camp at Gavin Lake near Williams Lake. So a few people here got together to try to stage an event like that spectacular one.
So our goal was to create something similar in the North, similar with some differences, and provide an opportunity for people to experience this kind of an event without having to travel quite so far.
Anita Henderson is an instructor at that camp near Williams Lake, but here she registered as a student for a chance to learn more from some of the best.
Just that you can put your own style in. There's so many different flavors of music out there. There's the Celtic and the Don Messer. There's some BC fiddle, which is totally different too. And you can just blend them all in, or, there's such a variety.
Part of the variety was supplied by the Valley's own Jenny Lester. The singer, guitarist, and fiddle player is making it pretty big on the bluegrass circuit from her new home in Vancouver. She's thrilled to share what she's learned over the years with the enthusiastic fiddlers here.
One of the cool things is like when a young person runs over to you and goes, "Oh, I just learned Rubber Dolly. I just learned Faded Love." And they're like excited by something so natural. It's just, and then you hear a bunch of them going together and playing a song that they didn't know 45 minutes ago, and they're playing it well, and they're creating music. It's powerful.
That's right. So let's put that together on the whole second half. And you do the nice harmony.
Hazelton's Andrew Goulet was also on hand to share his expertise.
Right on. Beautiful. Great. Good. That works.
As it should be, the focus at the camp is on having fun while learning as much as possible.
We found the fiddling community to just be extremely welcoming, and inclusive. They want everybody to be having a good time. They always gear the jam sessions to the least experience so that everyone can have fun together.
White and many others think the spirit of fiddle music, whether it be Celtic, bluegrass, or old time, is why the instrument is enjoying a resurgence in popularity.
Fiddle music is very engaging, and it's catchy, and it lifts you up. And of course, we've been helped along by Leahy's and Natalie McMaster and the really big names in fiddle music. But I think the thing that makes fiddling really successful is that fiddling can be for everyone, and it just enriches your life.
Organizers are calling the event a spectacular success. That's because of all the fun and because they thought they'd only get about 50 people instead of 76.
When we were planning this event, we were prepared for a couple of years of finding our way and kind of learning about the event and what would make it run well. This event has just really taken a life of its own, and it's run very, very smoothly, so that even the organizers are having fun.
It went so well, in fact, they're already working on another Fiddle Fest for next year.
Some of our instructors for this year are lining up to volunteer to come, and yes, we'll be doing this. We're hoping that this will become an annual event.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
They weren't signed by a label, rarely got radio play, and didn't have a music video, but they sold at least 40,000 albums and made between $20,000 and $30,000 a month through live shows and album sales. In this final segment of Open Connection, we return to the archive with Street Nicks.
Street Nicks is an a cappella band, which means there are no instruments with their performance. All of the music comes from their voices. On this day, Street Nicks' schedule includes a morning and afternoon performance at 2 elementary schools. They have a variety of music to choose from, and it captures the attention of all age groups. The live show allows the group to perform songs off their award-winning album Ignition. The album competed against 400 others, with their latest work being recognized as the a cappella pop rock album of the year.
We're very excited about that award, and this album really sounds very different from any other a cappella album that you will hear. If you put it in your CD player expecting to hear 4 people sing, you're going to be in for a surprise. It sounds like there's an entire band playing along with us, and that's quite a contrast from most a cappella groups.
In addition to performing their songs, they also demonstrate how they make the sounds of the instruments. BJ Harris explains how he does the drum sound.
We can, instead of having that stuff to use, I have to use my voice, and what I do is I use my lips. Here's what it sounds like. Now if I put those 2 basic sounds together, I can make a simple drum beat.
After the show, the band members move on to the next part of their day, signing autographs and speaking to the fans, fulfilling all requests.
Of course, I love the attention, but I also understand that, today it's going to be me, tomorrow it'll be Justin from NSYNC, or the next day it'll be one of the Backstreet Boys, or whatever, I
think it was really good, like one of the best shows I've ever seen, and hey, these songs, really good, and I really want to get their CD, the Street Nicks, and they're really good.
Street Nicks perform about 300 shows a year. It's a demanding schedule, and life on the road isn't always fun. The group was formed 8.5 years ago, and members of the band have come and gone. While this present group appears to get along well, they spend nearly every moment together. But when conflicts do come to the surface, as they naturally do with any family-like group, Street Nicks turn to the game rock, paper, scissors to take care of things.
That is the ultimate
I don't know who invented that, but whoever did was a genius, because that solves so many problems for us.
We spend pretty much every waking minute together, and but everybody's pretty cool, pretty mellow and laid back, and we have a lot of things in common. Like we like to play games and stuff and have some fun.
The group travels all over Canada and into the United States, doing everything they can to get their music out there. And now Street Nicks has even loftier goals.
We're looking forward to being able to get over to Europe. Our album has been being played a fair amount on the radio in Europe already. We're looking forward to maybe being able to pursue that with a tour over there. And we're also looking forward to being able to release a new album sometime in the next year, working with the same set of producers, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Whether or not they reach superstardom on the world stage, you can be sure of one thing: they will always remain level-headed. Right now, they set up and tear down every performance by themselves. There are no roadies for this group, but they will be hitting the road again and returning to the Northwest in May. They're scheduled to perform shows at schools and for the public. If you'd like to find out more about their tour dates, check out their official website at www.streetnicks.com. Pick up the action in the final in the second period. Castlegar on the rush, leading 1-0. Ryan Matthews pots the rebound, 2-0 Castlegar. But in the third, West Side battles back. Tied at 2, Travis Perreault snaps home the winning goal. West Side would add an empty netter as well, as they win 4-2, and they take the provincial championship.
Oh man, this is our last year in provincials. We've been all together since we were like 8 years old. Never happened. This is the best feeling ever. Best in the world. Feels great.
Oh, we never gave up, eh? Had to come from behind again. Just like yesterday, we were losing by a goal going in the third. When the dressing room said to the boys, we can do it again. Go! We can do it again. I gotta go with the boys.
How tough is that?
It's
tough as I get. As tough as I get.
To the third place game, pick it up in the dying seconds. Dawson Creek leads Kitimat 4-3. Kitimat with the extra attacker, but Dawson Creek clears, and Dawson Creek clinches third place in the tournament. Kitimat settles for fourth.
We should have won that game. I mean, I know it, the team knows it. I think our fans know it, but I guess you got to learn from it.
Well, there's a number of them that this is their last year. There's 7 or 8 of them that their minor hockey career is over now. The rest of them, the second-year boy or the first-year boys will be back, and hopefully put in a good year next year.
Everybody come together for the last tournament of the year. It was a riot. Great town, great hockey, great everything.
Taking a look at the other playoff games, in the fifth place game, Mission shut out Powell River 5-0. For the host Terrace team, it was seventh heaven, as Terrace topped Fernie 5-2. And in the ninth place game, it was a shootout. 9-8 was the final, as 100 Mile House outlasted the defending provincial champions from West Vancouver. But this year's title goes to West Side, the team from Kelowna.
It's the first time in 28 years that a West Side team has been crowned the provincial hockey champion, and they fully deserve it in this one. They did not lose a game in the tournament, only one tie.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but the connection from his mind and heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.